Domino's Pizza stock is crashing. If we look at this company in the last year, it's down by 31.66%, and now in the last 5 days, down by nearly 10%. And this is after the company has released their latest quarter's earnings report. And if you know anything about Domino's Pizza, you know they had an absolutely unbelievable run from 2009 to 2021 when they were one of the best performers in the entirety of the market. Not a single red year. In fact, if we look on dividend wealth, you can see if you invested $10,000 in Domino's Pizza back in 2005, by just 2021, less than 20 years later, that would have grown to $876,000, just astronomical returns. But unfortunately, the last 5 years have been a very different story for Domino's, now down by 16.39%. So what has happened to Domino's? Is this an opportunity? And what does the valuation look like at current prices? We need to answer all these questions in today's video. So let's go ahead and dive in. But first, I'd like to say thank you to Dividend Wealth for sponsoring this video, where you can currently get 40% off lifetime plans at the link in the description. If you're tracking dividends by hand, then you're making a massive mistake. Dividend Wealth can completely automate your portfolio tracking. Dividend Wealth shows you exactly what you can expect in dividend payments every single month and even years into the future. You can see your annual income, monthly dividends, and year-to-date realized dividends, and even your projected total. You can set your assumptions and make some goals to see exactly how far away you are to achieving your long-term goals. You can closely track your holdings and even see things like yield on cost. And perhaps most importantly, in my opinion, is you can see your allocation versus income by sector. In this example portfolio, you can see while the allocation to energy is only about 12.5%, it makes up 16 to 17% of the total income, something you need to be aware of. And of course, you can see exactly when those dividend payments will come in by utilizing the dividend calendar. Now is the time to quit guessing and take control of your portfolio. Scan the QR code or use the link in the description and use code DIVIDENDOLOGY25 to get 40% off lifetime plans. Now, it is an absolutely massive week of earnings. There's plenty of other big names reporting, but it did start with Domino's Pizza on Monday morning. So let's go ahead and dive into these earnings reports and see what we can pull away. If we scroll down, we can see Q1 GAAP EPS of $4.13 was a miss by around 14 cents, which is a fairly large miss to be honest. And then revenue of $1.15 billion, up only 3.6% year over year, and was a miss by around $10 million. So to start, we can see, yes, the company missed on top and bottom lines, but perhaps the more important question is to ask exactly why did this happen? So let's take a look at some of the things they mentioned in the earnings call. Now to start, one of the things that the CEO noted is that pressure intensified throughout the quarter, in particular in March, because of growing consumer uncertainty. And this has been a theme across a lot of stocks in the last few months. The reality is that consumer sentiment is low when it comes to at least the economy right now. And then on top of this, he noticed competition within the QSR pizza space also increased in Q1 as the national pizza players offered deals comparable, if not identical, to Domino's value offers. So the reality is the pizza war is ramping up. Now, why is that potentially an issue for Domino's? Well, for the longest time, Domino's was considered one of the most competitively priced pizza makers. For example, if we jump over to the profitability sheet, what we can see is margins have actually expanded over the last year. And this is great news, but as this competition increases, as the pizza war expands, this is what will come into fire. Now, it's really important to understand why Domino's, historically speaking, has actually been able to expand its profit margins, and on top of this, why they've been able to achieve such high levels of return on invested capital. What you can see with Domino's is return on invested capital is actually consistently above 50%, which is just absolutely mind-blowing considering the fact return on invested capital is typically one of the clearest indicators of a high-quality stock, because essentially it's telling us how profitable are the projects the company is reinvesting their capital into. So if Domino's has exceptional return on invested capital and their profit margins have expanded over the last decade, why has the stock been selling off? Well, it's a multitude of reasons, and yes, partly due to valuation concerns, but you have to understand the business model, because this is going to give us a lot more insight into what's actually going on. If we jump back over to Domino's press release, let's scroll down, and there's something key here that we have to understand when we get to this second page. Look at the first quarter of 2026 store counts. One of the things you'll notice is there's 262 U.S. company-owned stores, but U.S. franchise stores, there's 6,924. Why is there such a big difference, and what exactly does this mean? Well, we can see around 98% of Domino's stores are franchised. So in other words, franchisees own and operate the store. So this is a very different business model we're talking about. These franchisees pay Domino's royalties, they pay them fees. And this is huge for Domino's because they no longer need to fund most new stores. And the result of this is a very capital light, a very asset light business that leads to high margins and high levels of return on invested capital. So revenue grows as franchisees grow. Again, this is the exact same business model that led to exceptional returns from 2009 to 2021. This would essentially outperform nearly any tech stock that you could think of off the top of your head. Now, with that being said, because the company is capital light and relies on their franchisees, one of the most critical things we need to look for is same-store sales growth. We also need to look for global expansion, more franchisees opening stores. So what does that look like? Well, if we scroll down, one of the things you can see is same-store sales growth for U.S. company-owned stores is only about 1.5%, and for U.S. franchise stores, only about 0.8%. That's pretty slow growth. If we look at new stores being opened, it looks like U.S. company-owned stores, there was no increases in the first quarter. Franchise stores, 19 increases, so in total for the U.S., about 19. Now, the huge focus for the company is on international stores, where they saw 161 new openings. So in total, around 180. So Domino's is really turning to global new stores to drive growth because it's clear right now the U.S. stores are not driving very much growth. And so as a result of this slowdown, what's happened to the stock? Well, the stock has sold off. Obviously, we know this. But if the stock is down in the last 5 years and the company is simultaneously growing their earnings per share, naturally, what does that mean? Well, it means the PE valuation has come down dramatically, and that's exactly what has happened. If we look at this valuation multiple over the last 5 years, it's evolved quite a bit. Zoom out even more. Look at it over the last 10 years. We can see, historically speaking, there were long periods of time where Domino's was trading within a 30 to 40 PE multiple, and it wasn't really till around 22 that we saw this valuation multiple come down considerably. And as of right now, they're trading at a PE multiple of around 18.62, the lowest valuation multiple with the exception of a brief moment back in March that the stock has seen in the last 10 years. So we're talking about a dramatically different company from a valuation perspective. On average, over the last 5 years, their PE multiple was around 27, now sitting at 18.62. But of course, the argument you can make is that this is justified due to slower earnings growth. Now, there's another potential issue with Domino's that a lot of people like to point out, but I will say this isn't one that concerns me quite as much, and this has to do with the balance sheet. If we jump over to the balance sheet breakdown, I've already plugged in Domino's, but take a look at the total debt of the company. It's sitting at about $5.2 billion as of the end of 2025, while total assets was just $1.8 billion. So this is a company that carries quite a bit of debt, especially relative to their total assets. And this has been a huge concern that the bearish analysts on Domino's have had over the past few years. But despite this, historically, Domino's has been able to manage this extremely well. Why is that the case? Well, it's because their interest coverage ratio, their ability to make those interest payments on the debt, has been extremely strong, and it's actually gotten even better over the last few years. Now, we need to ask ourselves also, why is there so much debt on the balance sheet? Well, again, it's because this company is such an asset-light business, like we saw because of the franchisee model. It's what allows them to achieve, again, such high levels of return on invested capital. So yes, the debt is higher than you'll see for most stock, and yes, it does increase the risk for this stock, but the reality is their interest coverage ratio has remained strong and gotten even stronger over the last few years. Now, let's take a moment to take a look at the company from a dividend perspective. I've already plugged in the ticker, and you can see they're now yielding over 2%, which obviously isn't a high yield, but if you look at Domino's Pizza from a dividend yield perspective, historically speaking, you can see this is the highest yield the stock has seen in the last 10 years. For the majority of the last decade, the yield was actually below 1%. And on top of this, the company grows the dividend at an absolutely exceptional rate, with a 10-year dividend CAGR of nearly 17% and a 5-year dividend CAGR of 13.91%. But here's the reality anytime we're talking about dividend growth. Remember, dividends are paid out of free cash flow. They're not free money. So if free cash flow isn't growing, but dividends are growing, then naturally that means it's unsustainable dividend growth over the long term because the free cash flow payout ratio will continue to climb higher and higher. So for example, look in 2020, the free cash flow payout ratio at only 24%, but now sitting at about 35.27%. Still not high by any means, but the reality is Domino's can't sustain this high of a level of dividend growth unless free cash flow starts to ramp up again. So a historically great dividend grower, no doubt, and it was backed by free cash flow, but free cash flow is slowed down, so naturally if that keeps up, then the dividend will slow down along with it. So let's take a moment to talk about valuation for Domino's Pizza now. We have to take into consideration the fact that when we talk about outlook, management now stated we now expect our US comp to be up low single digits in 2026, and we expect our international same-store sales growth to be low single digits. So really the growth outlook has been slightly dampened after this recent earnings report. But despite this, if we look at Seeking Alpha earnings analysts over the next few years, they're still relatively decent. We can see they're essentially projecting around 10% growth when it comes to earnings through the year 2029. That's relatively strong for this company. So let's just talk about valuation for a moment. If we go ahead and jump over to our sensitivity analysis, let's talk about what future returns could potentially look like. Again, this will boil down to two things: projected EPS growth and the projected PE ratio. If we can accurately project both of these things, we can pretty much know exactly what our future returns will look like. Now, let's start with our projected EPS CAGR. We can see according to ticker data, the EPS CAGR estimates about 9.6% when we look at it from 2026 to 2030. So again, let's go with the lower end of those expectations and maybe apply 8.5% to somewhat apply a margin of safety to that EPS projection. Now we need to apply a PE multiple, and obviously we do this by assessing a few different things, generally speaking, like how fast will earnings grow, how's the company historically been valued. And when it comes to how it's historically been valued, we can see right now it's trading 35, close to 36% below its historical valuation multiple. But part of that is justified if earnings growth is projected to be slower. So let's just assume that the PE multiple stays right around where it's at. Maybe it gets to 20. You can still see forward-looking returns by 2029, 2031 are quite attractive, at least considering the fact it's still above historical average returns from the S&P 500. With that being said, this is not a best case scenario, but it's certainly not a worst case scenario as well. So let's run it through a few different valuation multiples. So let's run it through a few more valuation models. If we jump over to our valuation sheet, let's talk about the dividend discount model for a second. The dividend discount model values a stock based on how much they're paying out in dividends and how much that dividend will grow in the future. So we can see if we assume a dividend growth rate of 6.5% for Domino's moving forward, then the valuation would be around $370 a share, implying around 10.5% upside from the company's current prices. Now again, the question is, can they achieve this dividend growth rate? Because the reality is, the last few years, free cash flow has grown at a slower rate than that dividend growth rate of 6.5%. So again, that's what we have to watch very closely. Can they maintain a 6.5% dividend growth rate in the short term? Yes, because the payout ratio is so low. But in the long term, if free cash flow doesn't meet that 6.5% as well, that dividend growth won't be sustainable. But there's one more valuation model that I want to run Domino's Pizza through specifically because I think it especially applies to them. And that's going to be Bogle's valuation. Now, why are we using this valuation multiple? Because at the end of the day, expected returns are the result of three things: earnings growth, shareholder yield, and multiple expansion or potentially multiple contraction if the valuation multiple is going down. And this accounts for all three. So let's go ahead and apply earnings growth. We already talked about this a little bit, maybe around 8.5% moving forward. And then talk about multiple expansion / multiple contraction. But despite the fact that Domino's Pizza is trading well below its historic average valuation multiples, depending on what you look at, typically around 30% lower. So let's just assume that they currently stay right at the valuation multiple they're staying at. So we don't see any multiple expansion. What you can see is, based on our shareholder yield, remember, shareholder yield is dividend yield plus buyback yield. If the starting dividend yield is 2.15% and Domino's is actively buying back around 2% of its outstanding shares, you can see expected returns still look somewhat attractive at about 12.65%. Now again, this all boils down to the fact that Domino's is able to maintain earnings growth. Because if we see a pullback in earnings growth at the end of the day, we'll start to see a pullback in the company's ability to buy back shares, to pay out dividends, and as a result of that as well, the multiple will continue to decline. So is there opportunity with Domino's Pizza stock? yes, I do think there is some opportunity at current prices. With that being said, the underlying business is certainly facing some issues right now. Consumer demand is weakening, the competition is ramping up, and typically that's not the type of business that you want to buy. Of course, as a result of these things, the valuation multiple has come down considerably, but that's not to say it can't go lower. Now, the average analyst is currently giving them a price target of $446 a share, implying around 33% upside. But as for me, this is definitely a stock on my watch list, and I'll be keeping up closely with the earnings reports over the next few quarters to see how things shift. Because I do like the franchisee business model. It's obvious that, historically speaking, it's worked incredibly well for them. It's helped their gross margins expand, and obviously they've been able to generate very high return on invested capital, leading to exceptional earnings and free cash flow per share growth. So go ahead and let me know what you think of Domino's Pizza stock in the comments down below. Again, thank you to Dividend Wealth so much for sponsoring this video, but with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.